Welcome to the 2020 Global Peace Film Festival interview. My name is Kelly Devine. I'm the artistic director. Myself, along with Nina Strike, we are so honored to have with us Michi Takeuchi with the film The Vow from Hiroshima. Be sure to check out our website, peacefilmfest.org, to find out how to watch this film and all of the other films and events we have during the festival, which begins September 21st and runs through October the 4th. Tickets are now available. And now, let's start the interview.
Well, Michi, it's so good to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about the film.
Thank you so much. Well, our film, The Vow from Hiroshima, is an intimate portrait of 85-year-old Setsuko Soro. Setsuko is a Hiroshima survivor and activist who has spent her entire life driven by her passion to rid the world of nuclear weapons. She has been doing this for over 70 years. She made a vow to her sister, her nephew, and her classmates, who all perished in the horrific bombing of Hiroshima. Our film is a timely exploration of the global dangers of nuclear weapons and provides an insider's humanitarian perspective as we followed Setsuko as she campaigned with ICAN, the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons. Our approach to the story is told through the growing relationship between Setsuko and me. I'm the daughter of a survivor, and like most survivors, my mother coped with the trauma by remaining silent. Setsuko, meanwhile, helped me explore and understand the impact of the trauma on my family. In the film, we show the culmination of Setsuko's decade of activism with her acceptance speech at the 2017 Nobel Peace Award in behalf of all the deaths and the survivors of the atomic bombing. And I'd like to mention that this year, 2020, marks the 75th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Thank you for sharing that, Michi. Could you tell us what attracted you to this subject beyond your personal obvious connection, and why is this an important story to tell now?
Okay, thank you for the question. Well, I met Setsuko in New York in 2010 while we both participated in a program called Hibakusha Stories. Hibakusha means A-bomb survivors. Hibakusha Stories, which brings survivors to New York City and has them give their testimony to high school and college students. And Setsuko and I early on discovered that both of us are long-time expats from Hiroshima. And we also found that we went to the same girls' school in Hiroshima. It gave us instantaneous closeness. While she has always been very vocal about her experience, as I said before, I came from a survivor's family who did not talk about it. That contrast intrigued me. Initially, we intended to make a film solely focused on Setsuko's life, who is such committed and courageous woman. And she's so unusual for a woman of her generation in Japan. In the course of making the film, though, I began to dig into my family story.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Michi. And as you embarked on the film, what surprised you in the process about this story, or what did you learn while you were exploring this story?
Well, initially, I had no idea. nor intention to be in the film. I'm kind of a private person, but I wanted to make a film, even though I wanted to make a film about Setsuko, which portrayed her evolution from a local activist in Canada because she married a Canadian man, to her involvement in this global humanitarian campaign. In the course of spending more and more time with Setsuko and all the campaigners from around the world who are so committed to eliminate these nuclear weapons, I really learned that as a family member of atomic bomb survivors, I needed to share what happened to my family. And I realized that issue of nuclear weapons was not an abstraction for me anymore, and it became my personal responsibility.
What a
That's how
touching,
I kind of changed. Yes.
yes, what a touching way to think about it. I appreciate that. And that is a perfect segue to discuss one of the things that's at the heart of the Global Peace Film Festival is inspiring people to make positive change in their own lives and in their own communities, finding models and inspiration. What would you say to people watching your film that they could take into their own lives from this film and your story?
Thank you. This year with this pandemic, we all experienced and witnessed how vulnerable our lives are, how much we don't have control over the safety of our lives. And I'm sure that the whole experience shook a lot of us up. As we look at the current climate crisis and think about how urgent it is to do something to turn things around, I like to point out that if we were to experience a nuclear war, even in another country, or if there was any nuclear accident caused by human error, once it happens, the impact of nuclear catastrophe is far worse than the pandemic or all of the devastation caused by global warming. Nuclear weapons simply cannot coexist with humanity. I don't mean to be, scaring everybody off, but that's the reality, even though we don't really talk about it or think about it often. So I think this is a great opportunity, and I'm hoping that our film can inspire you to get involved, to make a change, and you can help by supporting the ICAN, International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. They have ICAN Cities Appeal, and this is a global call from cities and towns in support of the United Nations Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. And you can really find out more about it by going to ican.org. So that's what I would like to suggest.
That's so important, Michi. So thank you for that. And just to say, ICANN is ICANN.
Actually, that's ICANN is ICAN, like
Oh,
ICANN.
just one N. I thought there were two N's. But so thank you for correcting me.
Sure.
So ican.org.
Yes.
So finally, what's next for you?
Well, it's been rather challenging year as a filmmaker. And we are hoping to do screening tours once we are able to show it in person. It's been wonderful to have these virtual festivals because we can really reach to a global audience, and it's just like a magic, but it's very difficult to get sort of personal feedback. So we are really hoping to do sort of in-person theater thing. I'm sure, you know, you ladies are facing the same challenging situation. And now also the Setsuko is 88 years old, and average of the survivors are all above 80, and they are not able to move around as much. So I feel as the second generation survivor, I need to pick up the torch to keep talking about the experience and share it with as many people as possible so that that same horrific experience will never happen to anyone. So that would be my next step.
That's a wonderful way to end things, Michi. Thank you so very much for sharing your thoughts, your insights, and we're so honored to have you do this interview with us and to share your film with us. So thank you all for watching. Please do check.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you. Please do check out the Vow from Hiroshima on our film site, peacefilmfest.org. The film festival begins September 21st and runs through October the 4th. If there is a question that you would like to ask Michi that we didn't cover, we have a form on our website called Submit a Filmmaker Question. It's a very simple Google form. If you have a question, fill it out. You can find it on our film pages, and we will connect you so that this conversation can continue. So again, thank you. If you've been inspired to take action, please let us know through our impact survey or connect with us via social media, and we'll see you at the film festival.